Good afternoon, everybody. Let me say that it's really a pleasure to be here this afternoon with you, and a very warm welcome to you, Mr. Stanley Kakubo. Thank you to be here with us. And I wish to thank also President Carlo Ferro, Ambassador Joseph Catema, and Pietro Minnini for the three speakers of today. As master of ceremony, I give you the floor. Carlo, please.
Thank you, Massimo. Honorable Minister Kakubo, it's really a pleasure for being here, and I wanted to warmly welcome His Excellency Ambassador Catema, and thank you very much for having organized, together with the Italian Trade Agency and together with Confindustria As Africa, this event. I want to welcome all the delegation, and particularly to address a thank you to the participants that are over 30 people connected, showing interest for this initiative. This is indeed a great pleasure for me, and this opening remark today is really the second on an event dedicated to Zambia in 2021. And these reflect the very solid and friendly business relationship established on a bilateral since the country independence in the mid of the 60s, in the following years, and that opened the way for important investment in particularly in infrastructure in your country. Today, I really believe it's time for looking at this very special moment in the world of the recovery from the pandemic, in order to strengthen both the historical relationship and expanding that and adding a vision on the future prospect in a new world. And I have to say that Italy is really today restarted totally. The industrial production grew by 7% in this month. The export grew by 4%. I'm not talking in respect to 2020, I'm talking in respect to 2019. So we are already at level above the one pre the pandemic. And this fast turnaround of the country, I believe, is really showing the very solid positioning of our companies, both in the traditional area of Italian excellency, the famous 3F, the food, the furniture, and the fashion, but also in new technologies. And the new technologies, I want also to remember that at the end, Italy is the 8th exporter worldwide, is the 2nd manufacturing economy in Europe, and is the 2nd agricultural producer in Europe. All these capabilities in the years have been developed on leading technologies, and today the Italian industry intend to offer partnership as a partner for smart and sustainable development, digital and environment sustainability of many possible partners in the world. So it's a new momentum on which we wanted to look at the presence in the global economy of Italian companies, but in respect to the destination market, the businesses, as I said, and the destination market. And as a destination market, I have an easy mathematical rule, which is it made in Italy normally covers about 3% as a market share on the global trade. And when I look at country by country, there are some that we are above and some that we are below as any average. So Zambia certainly is a country where the numbers show that our enterprises can do more, and we wanted to encourage, we wanted to facilitate to do that. And really talking to the Italian entrepreneurs listening as I recommend to look at this valuable partner for some good reason. And one is the overall context, particularly after the effectiveness of the African continental free trade area that will boost the economic development and the trade relationships in the entire continent, and certainly Zambia will take benefit from. And then the measures that are in place by your government and by the African Development Bank for developing infrastructure in the private sector in the country. And you know that both construction and industrial machineries are among the industries most contributing to the Italian export and the Italian enterprises partnership and cooperation in the world. Other consideration is really to look at the stability, the strong democratic tradition, the opportunity of acting in a safe business environment, and the protection of the foreign investment, particularly after the effectiveness of the bilateral agreement for the promotion and the protection of investment signed in 2014 between our two countries. So in this context, also direct investment in the country play a role as a booster of the partnership. And for this reason, I'm really glad to host at the Italian Trade Agency a country presentation of Zambia, organized in cooperation with Confindustria. Thank you, Massimo. And I really am glad to welcome you, Honorable Minister, and your team that certainly can offer to the participants an important understanding on the country. In recognition of this presence and the memory of this great event, which is really an honor for the Italian Trade Agency to host an Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs of friend and partner countries, I want also to present you a small, someone of my team can help me with the book? Okay, we'll do later maybe. Okay, I wanted to give you okay. Please, Massimo.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Carlo. And now give the floor to Ambassador Joseph Catena, Ambassador of Zambia in Italy. Ambassador, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You can take off your mask if you want when you speak. The microphone. Thank you very much.
May I recognize the President of Confindustria as Africa and Mediterranean, President of the Italian Trade Agency. I would like to introduce to you the Honorable Minister, our Honorable Minister, who has come to put a stamp on the 1914 trade agreement, which was signed by Italy and Zambia, and also the memorandum of understanding which Italy, Confindustria, and ZAMBIA of Zambia signed. So our minister here has come here so that he put everything in context on how we shall move, starting from now, going forward as regards to trade and industry between the two great nations. So this is not my show. It's not my show. I would like to only introduce to you Honorable Stanley Kakubo, MP, Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Carlo Ferro, President of the Italian Trade Agency. Thank you so much to you and your delegation. Thank you so much, Ambassador. I want to first of all start by thanking you, Mr. President, and the Trade Agency for organizing this important meeting so that together we can discuss trade and investment matters for mutual benefit to our two countries. My delegation are really pleased with your kind invitation. I know the President has another engagement, he whispered to me, so I would like to go straight into just discussing the main issues that I want you to be aware of. But before I do that, I want to inform you just from the beginning that our country has come out of a very landmark election, which has seen our 7th Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, being elected to lead our country and our party, United Party for National Development. For us as Zambians, this has marked a major milestone in our democratic credentials and dispensation, especially that a good environment democratically where freedom of speech, freedom of liberties for our people are respected is a prerequisite for any business to be done, peace and tranquility. And I'm happy to report to you, Mr. President, that our country is in a strong democratic position now, and the whole world is able to see that. I know there are people following online, so I want to say that to all the distinguished ladies and gentlemen that are following, that our country is endowed with a lot of investment opportunities, especially in the following sectors. Agriculture is key, manufacturing, we have minerals in our country, so we are looking for opportunities for partnership for processing those minerals. There's also opportunities in the energy sector, opportunities in the tourism sector, education, in health, in pharmaceuticals, in textiles and garments, leather and leather products, and these are just among others. Mr. President, I just want to zero in a little bit in the agriculture sector. In the last few years, Zambia's agriculture sector has been growing between 6 and 12%, specifically in the last 6 years. The sector mainly comprises of crops to feed the people, and we want to grow that for export. Also forestry, a large chunk of our country has forestry that is untapped and unprocessed. Mr. President, also another key sector under agriculture is fisheries and livestock. Some of the main crops that we grow in our country for commercial purposes include cotton, soybeans, tobacco, groundnuts, sorghum, wheat, rice, sunflower, sugar, cashew nuts, and flowers. Now, while 56% of our 42 million hectares of land in our country is arable and unused, only 15% is currently used. We also possess about 40% of all the water bodies in Southern Africa are stationed in our country, Zambia, 40%. In this regard, this, I think, presents a huge economic advantage for irrigation potential of at least 2.7 million hectares for agriculture in this sector for a big variety of crops. Our country has a huge advantage in that regard. Mr. President and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, another sector that we wish to discuss very quickly is the manufacturing sector. I think there are a lot of possibilities there because we have a wide range of raw materials. Many opportunities are present there for value addition because of our abundant natural resources. We feel that the manufacturing sector accounts for only about 8% of our country's GDP currently, and we can do more because we need to turn the natural resources that we have into value chains and cash in a profitable and efficient way and friendly to the environment. Key investment opportunities include the processing of minerals, especially now that we know that in Europe, very soon, or the process has started for the manufacturing of electric vehicles. And our country is heavy on cobalt and heavy on copper as well. And quickly, I also want to bring your attention to the tourism sector. Zambia is home to the 7th wonder of the world, the mighty Victoria Falls, Mr. President. And also, we are endowed with breathtaking natural resources as a country. Wildlife, many animals live in open space in our country. Currently, we have 20 national parks, 34 game management areas, and 40% of Southern African water bodies, like I mentioned earlier, are in the borders of Zambia. We are home to several water attractions because of this, such as the Kalambo Falls, beautiful site, the mighty Zambezi River, and also Zambia houses the biggest man-made lake in Africa, the Lake Kariba, also the Lake Bangwauru, and also Lake Tanganyika in the northern part of the country. Here serves many investment opportunities for construction of hotels, conference centers, including restaurants, food and beverage services, tour operations, travel agencies, and car rentals, amongst others. Another interesting sector that I want to bring to your attention, Mr. President, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is of course the energy sector. The demand for electricity in our country exceeds what we produce currently. We have opportunities in geothermal plants, bioenergy projects, hydropower projects, solar energy projects, Mr. President. At the moment, our country has over 3,000 sunshine hours annually. Good weather for this. And renewable energy facilities as well, there are opportunities for that. Also for transport facilities, for core distribution. Of course, we have to be careful there because we want as much as possible to have a green economy. Recently, the new president, to show his commitment to this, set up a new ministry for green economy in order to Zambia to be part of the countries that are pushing that agenda. And also another interesting sector, Mr. President, which you also mentioned, I took note, is the infrastructure development sector. Key investment opportunities include infrastructure are skewed to not only roads, hospitals, and schools, but also to agriculture for storage facilities. Mr. President, there are some readily available projects in Zambia that would encourage for partnership. As a country, we have a number of low-hanging fruits already for investment opportunities, which Italian businesses could consider. And we want to recommend these very strongly as low-hanging fruits. At the moment, Zambia is implementing what we are calling the multi-facility economic zones, industrial parks, and industrial clusters. These programs, Mr. President, are designed to make Zambia competitive through increased activity in manufacturing and trade sectors, which have numerous positive spillover effects. Investments under the Lusaka South multi-facility zone, economic zone, include manufacturing, high-tech industries, provision of land for real estate development, including shopping malls, hotels, and international conference centers, among others. Government of Zambia has also established the Industrial Development Corporation, IDC, to, among others, create and maximize long-term shareholder value as an active shareholder of state-owned companies as well. IDC also leverages on partnerships with private sector players on strategic investments in the country. Currently, IDC has 36 subsidiaries under management with a total capitalization at the moment sitting at $7 billion. Investment opportunities which Italian firms could collaborate with IDC, including power and energy projects, mining, agriculture, manufacturing, infrastructure development, ICT, financial services, tourism with opportunities in both the transport and logistic sector. And I want to confirm, Mr. President, that IDC is available for possible collaboration and discussion with the Italian Trade Agency. As I get closer to a close, Mr. President, perhaps the question is, why should the Italian businessmen and women and corporation invest in Zambia? First of all, I want to assure you, Mr. President, that Zambia is an ideal destination for trade and investments for the following reasons. We have a stable political climate. Recently, for the third time, we were able to demonstrate to the world the transfer of, not of power, we prefer to call it a transfer of leadership from one political party to another. And we have favorable economic policies. We also have stable macroeconomic fundamentals, which attract investment incentives, especially for newcomers. We are also strategically located as a country with access to regional markets. Others wish to call Zambia landlocked. We want to change that phrase to land-linked because we see an advantage there. And our strategy as a country is that we want to improve trade in the region, across Africa as well. And then we trade outside Africa, in Europe, in the Americas, and so on. We also offering tax incentives, 0% customs duty on capital investment, capital equipment and machinery. And also we are offering accelerated depreciation on capital equipment and machinery. Also, we are offering 10% corporate tax for agriculture and agro-processing. And also we have other incentives that we are willing to discuss on a bilateral, depending on the business idea that is on the table. Zambia also as a country, we have a few requests to make in our engagement. Arising from the vast experience and interest from other organizations that have come to us to collaborate with our country, Mr. President, we are looking forward for more engagements, especially with Italy, so that our two countries can benefit. Our interest as a country is to make sure that our raw materials are processed, because about 70–75% of the Zambian population is young people. So obviously we want our economic data to dwell heavily on job creation. That is our thrust also of our foreign policy. It's to do with economic diplomacy. That's the anchor, because that is a reflection of our needs as a country. I also wish, Mr. President, to emphasize that we would like together to reduce socio-economic issues in the health sector, especially looking at the effects of COVID-19. Our country at the moment, we haven't vaccinated a lot of our people. Our statistics are looking very low and we are concerned. We are behind schedule. Only about 3–5% of the Zambian population is vaccinated. And we are pushing and with our cooperating partners to see how we can up those numbers for vaccinating our people. One of the key areas that has suffered very much because of COVID-19 is our tourism sector, which is also has been a big contributor to our forex position as a country. Because of COVID, there hasn't been any tourists coming into our country. As you know, countries like yours were shut down at some point. And one of the key initiatives that we want to bring on board very quickly is to make sure that visa fees are waived for partners like Italy, to ensure that our Italian businesses, Italian tourists are able to come in. And in conclusion, Mr. President, I invite you to engage our embassy here in Rome through our ambassador for more details on projects and selected projects that you may be interested in. And also my office as foreign minister operates on an open door policy. I'm available to you, Mr. President, and also all the companies that are under your umbrella, and we are ready to do business. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister. I really, sorry, take out the mask. I really thanks for this introduction, as this is opening opportunities for Italian enterprises of cooperation, and is opening of a phase of engagement to strengthen the effort, the mutual effort in this respect. So I took note of all these different areas. More importantly, I believe that enterprises participating, thanks to Confindustria, to this meeting and listing us, could have in their respective field the opportunity of looking at the business relationship with your country. I sometimes define the mission for the Italian Trade Agency, the one of connecting dots, of linking industrial and business and trade players in the world on showing on one side the opportunity and the facilitating the mutual understanding. In this respect, I wanted to ensure you that all the structure of the Italian Trade Agency will be really devoted to do more in order to strengthen the relationship. Our office in Johannesburg will increase its effort, and I will be glad that I can take soon a visit and the connection with IDC and all the other members of your country system. That could be interesting. I hope this meeting is, first of all, continuing after our speech, an opportunity for extending the understanding for our enterprises, also to the support of European House Ambrosetti, which I thank for the continuous attention towards your area of Sub-Saharan Africa, and the possibility of taking it as a first step of a number of possible events of meeting. What we learned during the pandemic, among all the difficulties, and believe me, some that you have suffered, like the one for tourism and you are mentioning, are very similar to what happened in all countries in Europe, in Italy as well. So we are very sympathetic on this respect. In all this negative, what we learn is that the digital is really helping on connecting at a distance as well. So how the Italian Trade Agency has developed a platform we call Fiera Smart 365 for remote exhibition, but also for a remote B2B meeting. So we want also to make this tool available to any operator in your country looking at Italy, or any operator in Italy looking at your country. And I would really encourage our team to develop together with your team a roadmap of potential cooperation under the support and the direction of Confindustria, which knows what entrepreneurs do. I'm very confident in this respect that the various and different and many industry vertical opportunities you have mentioned very much fit with capabilities of the Italian industry towards really all the value chain. I'm thinking, for instance, to the overall agriculture, food processing, food packaging and conservation chain, which is also making great the Italian food in the world. And there are many of that. So really, I want to conclude really apologizing again for having some time constraints due to meeting, and I'm going to be a speaker, so I cannot cannot miss it. But really, with the intent of continuing over time through the team this cooperation, and perhaps next time having the pleasure of being myself visiting you, particularly after you have mentioned some of the 20 national parks and all the beauty of your country. And I have to say that the Victoria Cascade waterfall were already
Yes,
in the desire, in the wish of anyone,
yes.
any train in Europe to visit.
Yes, we look forward to hosting you, Mr. President, when you have the chance to come through, so that you can have a look at some of these things that we've discussed. And I've seen that you've shown interest in our national parks. For us, our animals are free range, our beasts are free range. We have the lions, we have the zebras, we have everything that Africa can showcase is found in Zambia as well. Others have dubbed Zambia as the real Africa because of the wide range of natural resources that are there. So it would be good to host you. We look forward to it.
Appreciate it. I want to remember for the future visit with some.
Thank you.
Thank you, our Minister. You, Excellency Ambassador. Thank you so much. Arrivo, why don't we start behind the flags? Behind the flag, yeah. Or maybe if you can bring down to the flag. Yes.
You might fix with the cameras so that also the companies from remote can see you all.
Yeah, okay. And then for the companies, we'll shortly be back on real business. At least do not leave the meeting. Yes. Just for the photo, yeah. Yeah, but we do with flags, or maybe we do this way. Want to hold the
I think they're holding the flags.
You want the European one?
Can you face this side because the cameras are all facing this
Okay.
side? Yes. 1 to 3 cameras all facing this side.
Okay. Where's my mask? We have to go now. Thank you so much. We'll see you again. Goodbye. We're still? There's one more? Okay, all right. Oh, it's the president who's left.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, now I get it. Okay. Okay. Good.
Okay, we can go on. Only a few minutes. First of all, thank you for the outlook that you gave us today for the business opportunity that we have for our company in Zambia.
Yes.
And is for that reason that in the 25th of March, we signed an agreement between with the Zambia embassy in Rome, the Italian embassy in Lusaka, and the Zambia Development Agency with Confindustria Africa and Mediterranean. We signed a memorandum of understanding where we are looking for not only for trade, but also for joint venture between companies, Italian companies and Zambian companies, because we think that that could be a very interesting business for both and also for local investment in your country. And so we are really, we really think that we could offer great opportunities to Italian company to work with Zambia. And this for us is a very big, it's a very big interest for us. And so really, I want to thank you for this visit. And we are working with our associate to do some business with the company in your country. There are more than 35 companies that are looking at us in this moment. And I really hope to start soon with some business together in the concrete time. And so thank you very much. And I hope really I think that we will see in these 2 days, because I think that there is these two interesting days for Africa in Italy. And so we all think that it's a really great opportunity, the development that will be in Africa for the Italian company, also after COVID, because a lot of money come in Italy, a lot of money will come in Africa. And I think that we have to use this money in a very intelligent way, I can say. And so thank you very much. Now so much. I can give the word to Mr. Minnini. Thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Thank you, President, and good afternoon to everyone. I'm Mr. Minnini, the Director in charge of African Affairs at the European House of Development. I have 5 minutes for my remarks. If you don't mind, I will spend 1 minute to introduce our organization.
Thank you.
A couple of minutes about what we do in the region and how we see Zambia. And then the last minutes for our initiative that is taking place next month in the Copper Belt. Just allow me, Honorable Minister, to thank the Italian Trade Agency for hosting us today, but also Antonino Maggiore, the Ambassador of Italy to Zambia, who I presume is connected from Lusaka, who also suggested us to organize this meeting today. So also I send my regards to Ambassador Maggiore. What at the European House Ambrosetti is the #1 private think tank in Italy, #4 in Europe, and among the global top 20 in the world, founded in 1965, headquartered in Milan, and with direct presence in 16 countries. We believe a lot in the future of Africa. That's why we are active in Southern Africa, I would say, for the last 2 decades. We believe in Southern Africa because despite what is happening in the north of Mozambique, is a very stable region where also companies can really invest in the countries with the business climate also interesting, with the judicial system independent. So we feel that that region in the world can provide opportunities at the regional level. So Zambia in this sense plays a role, as you correctly said, is not a landlocked country, rather a land-linked country. And of course, there are issues of connectivity on how to connect better the region, but there Italy has best practices in the private sector, and I think in the short term can play a role to partner together with Zambia. Just one thing, I think this year there were two news in Africa, one negative and one positive. The negative is what happened in Congo to Ambassador Attanasio, the border in the mining area. The two things I think they are connected. And the second thing is the elections in Zambia. So far, what arrived to Italy is these two news. Right. So the elections in Zambia in August was a very positive news for Africa, for the progress of the democracy. Yeah. And I think that in order to open new markets, You know, as Goldman Sachs said, the copper is the new oil for the energy transition, but we really need to have a certified value chains. So we have to create a system of governance to really make sure that the value chain is well controlled, starting from the beginning till the end, because nowadays consumers want also, you know, with the QR code, want to know the origin, you know, of the products, which arrive well at the beginning of the value chain with the copper, and in this case, what you have primarily in Zambia. So I conclude saying that, as you probably know, we will organize on Monday, 29 of November, a high-level roundtable in the Copper Belt in Dola on the opportunities between Italy and Zambia in the copper. We feel that there are opportunities, horizontal opportunities. So as you said, there is a demand of energy, and Italian players can even there provide a role in the manufacturing of precious stones. But I hope you will be accepting our invitation, and that will be an opportunity to really engage between Italian CEOs and the Zambian counterparts. So thank you once again, Minister, for being with us. And on behalf of Ambrosetti, I welcome this new page of Zambia, and we are at your disposal to lay the ground for a very solid cooperation in the years ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Minnini. Thank you very much. I can ask if some company that are looking at us have some questions. Some curiosity, but if you don't want to do the question today,
the broadcasting center here from Brussels. No, at the moment, none of the 30 companies connected have raised their hand. So please, if anyone wants to ask a question, raise your hand in the interface of Zoom, and we will allow you to talk directly to any one of the attendees. So far, no one has raised their hand. So far, there are no questions. So I would suggest to go ahead with the works, and then if there are any questions, I will interrupt you again. Thank you.
Okay, so we can answer in the second moment, perfect. So I think that we conclude today, and thank you very much for your visit. And really, we hope in very good opportunities for both companies in a win-win way. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.